Then the second one, then you've got to have a serviceable mind, or a pliable mind, or a then it's okay to have some depth. Then some Buddhist concepts, then if they don't make sense, it's okay to put them on a shelf. Then not to disparage them, but then say, okay, I'm not sure about that. Put them on a shelf and I'll get to that. Let me work with what I accept as a foundation if you're a new Buddhist. But you should not have a natural predisposition or a contempt for religious practice or the Buddhas. Many years ago in Manhattan, when I first became a Buddhist, I used to have a girlfriend who was a Krishna girl. Then we used to have wonderful fights over. And I used to make fun of Krishna, call him a Smurf. Who's Smurf? Then it wasn't very proper. Then she said, I don't know, I don't like Buddhists. Then some Buddhists came to my temple, and they would not take off their shoes. And I'm like, my God, what kind of, I don't know any kind of Buddhists like that. If we didn't take off our shoes in the temple, Rinpoche, you know, it would be most improper. If we didn't respect religions, you know, the way I was taught Buddhism, then whether you're Buddhist or Hindu or whatever, you respect people and their religions. You don't act improperly. Then these Buddhists apparently came to the Krishna temple. Then they made fun of the Krishna and his consort, or Parvati, Krishna and Parvati. Then they made fun of the deities. Then they made fun of the dressing the deities. Then I'm like, this is I immediately, it was probably wrong of me. I said, must have been Zen. Guys. But I don't know what kind of, but that would be a kind of mind that has a contempt for good religious practice. At the very least, respect for religious peoples, temples, and then you have to have a kind of predisposition. Then the third one, the principal causes. Then you have to have all the material. Then you can have a good mind. You can have found a good teacher. Then if you can't get it together, then it won't work. You have to have the ability to sit and meditate, the ability to study nicely, then to have clothes and food and everything, not then it's difficult to be homeless in New York and practice nicely. Then if you're going to the homeless shelter and have to worry about the other homeless people's beating you up and stealing your practice book, then it'd be very difficult to sit and try to do your Buddhist meditation. Then that's what this is talking about. You need a basic level of subsistence or practice, a basic level of food, clothing, shelter. Then, and this is, in this country, then we have all those things. But what we don't have is to access and good communication with proper teachers. Then that can actually be thrown into this category. Then teachers would love to teach us, but there are many Buddhist teachers in India or Tibet or Thailand, Hinayana teachers, but not many over here in the West. Then we have all the causes except for decent teachers. Then maybe we'll go a little quicker because we're going to finish up. Nyamba me ba nam sun gong. Nyamba means undamaged. Nyamba Nyapa mepa means undamaged. Mepa, negative. Nam means the way. Then sung, we went over that. Then gom means to habituate or cultivate, often used for meditation in Tibetan. Get used to. Then the translation is in your books is practice to keep the three undamaged. Then you don't want to let these three weaken in your mind. Then it's just respect for your teacher. Then devotion to the mind training, which is your Lojong training, exchanging self and others. Then attempting to generate bodhicitta. Then tame your self-cherishing mind. You should be devoted to that practice. Then commitment to apply in meditation techniques and throughout your day techniques. They call it here recollection and vigilance. Then what that means is when you find yourself doing something that goes against your Lojong practice, then you just correct your mind yourself. You're like a self-correcting, don't know what the term is, like a machine. If you're generating a mental affliction, then if you find yourself obsessed with your own happiness, not caring about other people in a specific situation, then you always have that mindfulness. Then can help to, in your mind, memorize some Lojong prayers. But you can memorize all the prayers you want if you don't have the motivation behind it. For many years I worked in a restaurant in Manhattan, and I lost many times my my compassion for beings, and many times I didn't care much about many times I wanted to hurt them. Then the point would be when you get into a verbal altercation, or maybe physical altercation, or even before that, then try to correct your motivation, and as best you can, think about working for the benefit of that person rather than helping yourself. Not thinking about their happiness, only thinking about your happiness in all your dealings with people. Then you'd think that would, when your mind hears this, you'd think that it's going to suck caring about people. Then what about me? You know, your self-cherishing mind immediately rises up and says, what about me and my happiness, damn it? Then if you do this for, say, 6 months, you will be happier as a person. Then it doesn't mean not treating yourself to good things. Then it just means the constant obsession with our own happiness at the cost of other beings. And then it's mainly based on an ignorant mind that sees phenomena as having some kind of independent, unchanging, self-existent nature, specifically your own self. The Hindus, they called it Atma, which is one of the fundamental beliefs that Shakyamuni Buddha rejected.